So welcome to this poetry event in Viewing for National Poetry Day. It's wonderful to have this unique setting of the prison for a poetry event. And 8 artists have been working here in the last few weeks to set up these installations. And when I realised that Somerset Arts Week overlapped with National Poetry Day, I decided it was too good an opportunity to miss. So we've put on this event where 18 poets from the area who've written poems special for the event are going to read their work and celebrate National Poetry Day in this very peculiar setting. And I also hope that as we widen the canvas to include some political prisoners and think of the inhumanity of imprisoning people in these conditions at all, we might deepen our own sense of humanity.
Welcome to this architecture of remorse.
Here, you will never stop climbing, one heavy step at a time. Your feet no longer yours.
See how the levels go up and up.
See what an illusion sky has become behind the barred windows. See these broken ladders to the moon.
You will dream of master keys and unknotting ropes, of learning how to escape straitjackets as you sit underwater.
But right now, you are unsure if time has ended or has just begun. Is this your future you are leaving behind, or your past you are entering?
Inside. The word and the law, a hand and the blame, the logic of locks and meanings of keys all come to the same. Inside is this side, outside is not.
To the convict. I've no name for you who were held in this now vacated cell. We never met, but I remember you. I once asked them to consider that you may have known the wrong kind of childhood. There wasn't a childhood at all.
Taking the law into a child's hands. Suppose you bawl at your son every day. Use words that leave marks. Suppose you tell him, if he isn't careful, he'll be made a ward of court. But he's 6, doesn't even know what a court is.
While getting lashes or electrification, you must not cry at all. Do nothing. Sit still and wait for my orders. If there is no order, keep quiet. When I ask you to do something, you must do it right away without protesting. If there is no order, keep quiet.
It is fake news. The so-called torture did not happen. His friend who made it up has gone away. They know the prisoner was visited. He told. He has 9 hours sleep and decent food. No one has tortured anyone, they say.
I climbed down past the tide mark of medieval sea to an open square where a black arm was being wrenched back behind his own spine. I can't breathe, he cried, his face pushed to the ground. I'm going to witness this, I said. The policemen stood him, turned him, to show he could breathe. His glasses were in place, shattered. I've been back since. There are fossils there, creatures that look like holes in the stone.
The night before his execution, he dreams he's in a fancy restaurant. Crystal chandeliers, blue velvet chairs, starched white linen tablecloths. The menu's a blur of words, so he points to something, and when it arrives, gags at the first mouthful, and the two men at the table nudge each other, laugh. He feels the heat of shame.
There are, of course, thousands of people imprisoned right now under oppressive regimes. One of them is Nasrin Sotoudeh, the human rights lawyer in Tehran, who in March this year was sentenced to 38 years in prison and 148 lashes for defending Iranian women's right to remove their hijab in public. Under Islamic law, the man doing the flogging should hold under his arm a copy of the Quran. She loves the sculpture by Matisse of a woman's monumental back, her plait reaching her waist, the black spine, a mountain, the indentations, small pools catching the sky. Why, she asks 1,000 times, do certain men hate women so? Why must their wives and daughters bow their backs, pull darkness over their faces as clouds cover the beauty of the moon? Even now, some young girl, beautiful and unbowed, dreams of standing on a plinth in a public square and hanging her white hijab on the branch of a tree. And for that, this back must be opened. For that, some man, a Quran wedged under his arm, must open this back until the blood is a river and the bones are laid bare.
From the Ballad of Reading Jail by Oscar Wilde. I know not whether laws be right or whether laws be wrong. All that we know who lie in jail is that the wall is strong. And that each day is like a year whose days are long, and never a human voice comes near to speak a gentle word, and the eye that watches through the door is pitiless and hard, and by all forgot we rot and rot, with soul and body marred.
The vilest deeds, like poison weeds, bloom well in prison air. It's only what is good in man that wastes and withers there. Pale anguish keeps the heavy gate, and the warder is despair.
This I know, that every law that men have made for man, since first man took his brother's life and the sad world began, but straws the wheat and saves the chaff with a most evil fan.
And there, till Christ call forth the dead, in silence let him lie. No need to waste the foolish tear, or heave the windy sigh. The man had killed the thing he loved, and so he had to die. And all men kill the thing they love. By all let this be heard. Some do it with a bitter look, some with a flattering word. The coward does it with a kiss, the brave man with a sword.
Metamorphosis. First came a taste for meat, and odd bursts of irritation, like an itch along her spine. She wondered at sofas and knives, and no longer knew the meaning of milk or the colour red, what hot was and cold and nice, why some things shone and some were dark, and why the baby cried.
A misattribution. The honeymoon ended, but the moon pouring, no one said when. And within a couple of months his blood was heavy, sluggish with honey, while she who'd promised in sickness, in health, baked puddings and cakes sweetened with apple, learned to spot symptoms the instant he stormed in through the door. Not knowing that fury isn't a given, not seeing how everything had turned golden, he an idol in his palace, she walled up in a honeycomb cell.
I was lucky. Others I know did time. Marking time, keeping time, counting time, in the real prisons, not just a London police cell. But I did my bit, had my small experience of the waves of women protesting over decades for our rights, for peace, for justice, for life on earth and all our futures.
Mothers are perhaps the worst affected by anyone going into prison, carrying the love and perhaps the imagined guilt, and this poem tries to capture the mother's grief. The anchorite's mother, how sick she feels, as nauseous as in those early weeks when this same daughter was entombed inside her, her body off balance like a ship at sea. That farewell smile, timid, hopeful, is the same her other daughter wore when she married, before the husband's back of hand wiped it away. She thinks of a sprig of willow trampled heel by heel into the ground. She wants to stuff the cell with bluebells, jay feathers, to remind her child of sky in summer.
3 men committed suicide in Guantanamo Bay. But today, I will not be angry. Instead, I will take this morning and fold it into an envelope, beg the birds in the sky to carry it across the vast blue ocean, and press it to the window of your prison.
Like the ancient mariner that you have become, you hold on tightly to our words, letting their magic melt away the walls of your room, so that once again for you, Claire's words ring true. The raindrops lodge on the swallow's wing, then fall on the meadow flowers.
It wasn't the peeling paint on rusted bars, the sick green walls, metal stair clank or greystone exercise yard. It wasn't suicide safety nets between galleried floors, gloom-filled cells, fixed bedsteads and windows too high to see through. No. What did surprise me was Emma's response when I asked for her memories. 18 years she worked in parole, chose to remain as a guide. She used the word family, and how some ghosts sent messages about her being their favourite. Such a grim place, I said. Yet you found heart inside these walls. Yes, she said. I was happy here.
A Christmas tree in my cell. We have become friends, prison and me. Like any two buddies, we share memories. I lost inspiration for 3 years, to recover it in cell 5, Ward 23. Something great is happening. I am showered with friendliness from men and women who do not know me. I received a Christmas tree, a beautiful tree made of paper, folded and carried in an envelope, with a message from a lovely woman living in Denmark, who reads my letters and draws hope from them.
Blue Square. I found it in books telling stories of solitary stone cells and crumbling towers, or failing penitentiaries dying of decay. A small window where light alters with the weather of time, day after day after day happening in the beyond. Not azure or cerulean, This blue is named the colour of the imprisoned heart's desire, sky blue. It's the small things we yearn for when they're gone, a red dress, a hiss of the kettle, or just leaning across the table to turn on the radio and slow dance to the blues as dusk falls around you like velvet.